Yow! What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another XTV post-produced cast. This time we are taking a look at the i49 Grand Finals. Now, if you didn't get a chance to watch the event live, now you might be a little bit shocked. Weren't the Americans in this tournament? Weren't the Australians also there? Well, yes, they were, but unfortunately for fans of those teams, they didn't make it to the Grand Finals. We will be looking at some of their matches in the future, but thought we would start off with this. Now, let's just focus on the teams as blue. Epsilon eSports, first to the point, but red team flooding Epsilon's choke. Epsilon starts off with a couple frags and kind of locked in this ramp room. A couple players pretty low on health, but looks like they're moving forward and going to be able to take control of the point pretty comfortably. TCM, who is actually formerly known as Broder Gaming, still obviously around just to get to this LAN. I believe they got a little bit of assistance from TCM. TCM definitely has been involved with several teams in the past in the European community. A big name that we've seen around. In fact, some of the names on TCM are big European names that we previously saw playing against TCM as Team Dignitas. So now Epsilon with this Uber kind of not quite working around here in the stair room of Gullywash. Ubers are going to fade though. Rib kind of gets posted out, and you see in the corner there up the stairs, Jukebox goes down to Stefan. We'll try to run down the rosters here when we got a second, but you can clearly see them on the left-hand side. No too many surprises there. Numlocked does get a nice sticky kill on zebbosai, a pipe on cookye as well, while knoxxx finishes off mirelin with the needles to take him down. So to run down the rosters real quick, Epsilon, Devilman is numlocked. You got Mike and Gear on Soldier. Gear played for the team last year at i46. Stefan and Bash the Scouts. Meanwhile, for Red, Rib is the Demoman, bybben and cookye the Scouts, mirelin on Medic, zebbosai and Jukebox on Soldier. Red trying to posture up here on the point, but end up backing out, rotating towards choke side at least a little bit. When the Soldier's down low, another Soldier jumping up top and over. Still staying fairly healthy before Gear does go down. Now mirelin, 150 health, is pushing towards the choke. Gets a nice bone saw on him. And Epsilon's knoxxx, yeah, was with the needles on the choke, had to back out there. So that's a good exchange for TCM. Now Epsilon has had a great tournament leading up to this point. You know, I guess I didn't pull up exact stats on it. I know that they've performed strongly in the group stage, as well as obviously making their way through the upper bracket as the upper bracket winners. It is a double elimination tournament, but Epsilon has not lost. I don't believe that gave them any sort of advantage in this scenario, however. I think it was just a straight best of three, no differences based off of coming in from the upper bracket. Now TCM is trying to rotate through the flank here. Gonna get a little bit of pressure, but good shutdown from Epsilon. Nobody really working the choke side, as you can see, once again, thanks to the advanced spectator plugin by Blue. Uber charge does come around the corner. Gonna come out as well from TCM and counter. And there's a bit better, 35% extra in the sense of, you know, time that they had where Blue didn't have an Uber charge. Jukebox on the sniper. See if you can find anything here. Gullywash, definitely a good map to snipe in towards last. An opportunity to hit the medic, but I think the Soldier got in the way there. No in between the legs shot today, at least. Now TCM just kind of posturing again, getting ready to make some moves. The unlock set here used here for weapons is pretty minimal. Gunboats are allowed. Kritzkrieg is allowed, and besides that, it's pretty limited. European rules, win difference of 5. So if we do get a 5-0 or a 6-1, so forth, then the map will be over. But otherwise, we're just going to play till 30 minutes, regardless of the score line. If it is a draw at the end of 30 minutes, then we will have an overtime period. I believe it's a 10-minute period, and whatever team holds middle at the end of that will be decreed the winner. So we actually have double snipes out on the defense, at least for a second. Bash now back on Scout. But when you're so close to your back against the wall and your spawn, not too big of a risk to run that double sniper, at least temporarily. Just as quick as that to switch back off. And still getting some invisible player problems, as you can see, but at least the outlines make that a little bit more tolerable to watch. Good Uber, good flash on the soldier. Must have picked up the health pack there. Didn't quite see it because it was right by the camera's feet, quote unquote. But Scout back here doing a good job jumping around, harassing, being an annoyance. Also want to give a quick shout out to Duder. We are planning on doing all 3 of these maps, should it go the distance, all 3 of these maps together, doing a dual commentary. But just schedules didn't quite work out, and we wanted to get this coverage out as soon as possible. But we're, like I kind of briefly mentioned earlier, we're looking to do some of the matches earlier from this tournament as well, to highlight some of the other games that were just amazing games, regardless of whether they had an eventual impact on who wins the grand finals, the event, because that's really where it's at. I think maybe a very small 3rd place prize. I don't know if 4th place gets prize money as well. Either way, some pretty good money on the line here, as well as a great atmosphere at the i49 event. Really check out the Vanilla TV stream and interview highlights from the event to really catch some of the spirit. Blues Uber doesn't really accomplish too much. They get a little bit of damage here, but now TCM gets to use the last little bit of their invulnerability to charge in here. Jukebox, good surfs, and very subtle. Does get some good damage, some good distraction, but yeah, was it enough? I don't know. zebbosai now coming from behind. Good damage down. Oh, waving that shotgun around. But knocks 124 health. So yeah, I was going to take a couple pretty serious shotgun blasts to get him down. Mirelin getting back is going to get 3 players spawning forward here, which is nice, but is going to have to watch out. You see Jukebox off-classing from Soldier to Snipes. Definitely always kind of a question, or always kind of interesting to see the Soldiers doing more off-classing while you still have the 2 scouts on their roll. Always a debate, I guess, whether which maps people should do that or which scenarios. Jukebox throughout the tournament has put on some pretty interesting plays, though, so you can't really argue with that. Gear decides to take a risk, kind of jumps out there. Jukebox doesn't really connect, though, unfortunately. And now it looks like Blue charging in here. Red does have just Jukebox left on Soldier. And good job by Blue. Gear was up top. Jukebox wasn't really able to get the snipes, kind of backed up. He said, okay, well, we'll just kind of walk in here. We'll just kind of do our thing and get aggressive. And that's definitely paying off, as they're now up to a 2-0 lead here. And that's a nice start. Definitely, I mean, rounds can go fast in TF2. It's kind of nice, that if they don't get... anyways, I don't know. I'm talking about format stuff. We should just focus on the middle point here. Watching the Soldiers for blue team getting on top pretty well, but Gear does go down. Stefan picking up a kill around the side. Numlock's down as well. One of the red soldiers, that is zebbosai, gets bash. 1 scout left for blue, and he's taken out. knoxxx is reconnected with Mike, but they're back by the 2nd point. Yeah, so there's definitely a debate. The impact of the American format that is run in ESEA, where you're having hour-long matches and you have a halftime. And sometimes those matches are just as slow, or even more slow. This European format, because the game is really tight and is only decided in 30 minutes per map. Sometimes you do get a little bit of parking the bus, is kind of the soccer term, but I find the standoff situations to be tense and important. You got to have a little bit of a standoff, a little bit of a waiting game, and in my opinion, 30 minutes makes it more bearable than watching a match for an hour. But again, that's just my opinion. I just like watching TF2 in general, so whatever's clever for me. Red now rotating back over more towards lobby side as blue. Great flank here coming in with the Uber charge. Not too many players here, though. Really just Mike, who is quite renowned for his deathmatch and his soldier skills. Great job there, just jumping up and getting a little push from the scout. Take that health back. Cookye in a nice position. And Rib doing a lot of damage on numlocked. Doesn't go down, though. Excuse me. And now Soldier jumping in as well. numlocked, big frags, though. Gets zebbosai and mirelin with huge pipes. And he's going to push in with his scouts just gunning down Rib. Now Bash and Stefan just going pretty nutty. Bash, I believe that is Bash, just looking for aggressiveness, looking to get on the point. But the spawns came in. and not going to be able to just kind of run in and stand on the point real quick. Not a big loss. Losing numlocked to jukebox, a bit more of a loss. I personally didn't catch the action. Luke's camera might have, but I did see his dead body in the lower middle part. Nice shotty by zebbosai, floating Gear up in the air and taking him out. Now Gear did play for Epsilon last year at the i46 event, and was definitely a little disappointed. Definitely a little disappointed. You could just tell at the end of the tournament he was like, yeah, had a lot of fun, but really wish that we had performed better. So it's cool to see them, you know, be able to succeed to even just the point of getting to the grand finals this time, and put on such a great tournament that they already have this event. You know, and really a very strong powerhouse team. A lot of discussion that some of these players might not. That this might be the last time that they play together as well. Now Uber is out. Good stickies down by numlocked and a good escape. Look at. Sorry, I might have got my names mixed up there a little bit. Now, wow, a lot of damage coming down. Gear jumping in across. Going to put on some hurt from Rib, and then just rotates over to flank side. I like that. Very quick jumps in. Perfect timing to get in and get some damage on Rib. Just keep pushing him back. The scouts are going to kind of try to come in here and contest. Huh. Yeah, and Stefan's saying Boston Basher allowed. He says no. So I guess there's your answer on that. Boston Basher, definitely one of those items that's kind of sped up the game a little bit. It allows you to charge really quickly. Really, I don't know. My thought on it is I just wish that a couple other classes had a similar item so that, you know, you could build Uber charge with sniper, for example. Red TCM starting to get a little bit more aggressive here, getting into the lobby and starting to work forward. The Uber charge is popped. Blue pops theirs as well with numlocked thrown in the air. A little bit hard to get forward with it. zebbosai now getting into an engagement up top. Not going to be able to get out. He gets gunned down. And now Stefan going to try to jump across as well. Bash looks like he was stepping on the point for just a little bit. Now here comes the follow-up by Epsilon. Great teamwork as big jumps coming in. Oh, no, I don't think he hit the air shot on mirelin. Mirelin was 66 health. knoxxx, yeah, gunned down by bybben from behind. Bybben and Rib, definite classics from the Dignitas team of yesteryear in the European TF2 community. Not sure if anyone else from that team is really still all that active. I believe Hawks was on that team, and I think Hawks might have been playing at i49. Could be wrong about that, but unsure. I know that several of those other players are definitely out of the scene though. Now zebbosai with the Uber charge does take out Gear, and now getting good control of the point. So capture is going to go the way of TCM, which is a positive. They do lose jukebox, but that's just because they're getting forward and putting some really good pressure down. Excuse me. Yeah, so I guess part of the dilemma is Gear seems to be wearing an item right now that is banned. I guess that's... I'm not too sure. There was a talk about the Boston Basher as well, but obviously Gear on Soldier, not quite the issue. TCM going to get kind of shoved back a little bit. Clock is ticking down, and TCM going to have to start making some progress here. Going to start having to get some impact plays, keep their players healthy. mirelin 100% Uber charge on the flank side. Jukebox, I think, waiting for Pack, or either way, he's starting to work up from flank. No, he gets taken out upstairs, I believe. Now the Uber charge in. Let's see if they can make some sort of progress here. 2-1 is quite a big difference from 2-0. Rib kind of shut out of that fight, though. Kept back. Uber charges are cycled, and TCM's going to back out. Jukebox is back up, but Cookye getting picked down by Mike. So, well, now actually, wow, nice pipe by numlocked. Great juggle and reaction. So, numbers were kind of weird. Oh, player on the point. That is a soldier. And, sorry, knoxxx getting on the point just in the nick of time to really block that point. Cookye and Rib still around, but Rib jumping back towards Choke, and Cookye not around as well. I think he went flank side. Oh no, actually looks like he ran back and switched to Sniper. So Epsilon is going to get the capture, but TCM does get a nice forward spawn. So that'll help them defend here in the last half of this map. Let's see what they can get going on. Yeah, Epsilon moving in, and looks like TCM is just going to have to abandon it with Cookye being down, Jukebox not up either. They just don't have the players to be able to work here, and Epsilon is going to respond by just continuing to push here. They go flank, they go the quick route. They're just going to cut him off with this Uber charge, and if they can get mirelin as well, then TCM really isn't going to have much to work with. But mirelin pretty isolated away up in this upper area, so that's a positive for TCM. Got 90% on the Uber charge. And Epsilon's just going to try and finish the capture, but here comes the soldier jumping in response. The Uber charge as well, so good job by Epsilon just pressuring the point and forcing a response by numlocked. The Uber is out, but now they gotta be careful, and they gotta make something work for what they did there. Might have to just concede the middle point here, but if they do, they should be able to just kind of re-push and be aggressive afterwards. Back cap attempt going on by Gear, but he's going to trade with Cookye. And that's not quite going to work. So TCM does get the capture, but Epsilon in not a bad position to defend the second point here. Just waiting on Gear to get back up, but with that trade on Cookye, then at least TCM is down a player as well. And swapping the middle point, you know, is kind of a good thing. You know, you want to see the middle point get swapped back and forth between teams. It shows that it's good back and forth affair. Even if it is a 2-round lead, this is a pretty close game. TCM just needs to kind of find some better ways of utilizing their teamwork and their strengths. Maybe switch up to Kritzkrieg a little bit, try something a little bit different. It all depends. Right now they're going in for the bomb to get the force, but knoxxx very calm, does land on the bottle, so he was back up to 90 health, but he might have actually been down around the 60s before he got that bottle. So that's okay, but that's definitely, you know, nice calm medic to just hold on to that. Now we see some body blocking going on as well. numlocked doing a good job of just not letting this Uber really get in, or at least in early. And then he's just going to cut off the combo, so that soldier is isolated. zebbosai goes down quick, and I don't think that scout's going to last much longer either. So kind of a weird Uber, and not really that effective. Just kind of lost 2 players, and now bleeding bybben as well. I think went down at the same time as Cookye. Do get a frag on Bash, so that's going to help. Gear goes, or sorry, Stefan goes down as well. So Epsilon is forced to pull back. So TCM, you know, a sloppy Uber, but kind of the transition fight went really well for them. So they were able to utilize that and then just take some territory, move up, and get the second point. So 12 minutes ticking away, and you know, they just gotta get rolling here. They gotta get points on the board. You're never gonna win if you can't finish a round. Just how TF2 works. But they do have the Uber charge here, so hopefully TCM. But Jukebox takes a lot of damage early, goes down. Mirelin's still holding on to the Uber charge, so I mean, maybe that was just a straight bomb attempt. Looks like TCM has backed up, but that's gonna be tough. And then they just lost zebbosai super quick there. So I mean, it's a 4-on-4, but they have a lot of blue players behind them. Cut the middle ground here, no man's land, and they have to go back. Now they're in this back and forth. Gear is probably going to be able to get back to spawn to get full health. numlocked backing up. TCM needs to pressure this hard. They're getting damage on numlocked. numlocked getting heals though. And where are the players from TCM? Just not able to capitalize on that scenario. I think that was their best opportunity to capture that there. Even though mirelin had gone down. Sometimes you got to go for off Uber chances, but I think they just tried to play a little too cute there. They still have time to work with and stuff, but just kind of this scenario. Well, let's go in, let's, you know, force a pop and then back up. But they, you know, bled so many players. zebbosai did get a trade as he went down, but if you're just popping your Uber and you have 3 players, yeah, there's not the best odds that that's going to work out for you. Now at the end of all this exchange too, Epsilon going to have an Uber advantage. I see the points board just real quick. They do have an uber charge advantage. mirelin pretty close to getting it back up. Jukebox trying to snipe flank, but as you can see, more players in the choke area. Jukebox going to still try to work flank. Does get, I think, maybe just a straight body shot. Didn't seem like it did a whole lot of damage to gear, but maybe he had a nice buff beforehand. Jukebox misses the shot on the medic. Would have been a tough one, but there was an opportunity. And now that Epsilon is very knowledgeable about where TCM is, they've been able to shut this down pretty well. And look at that. knoxxx too, just looking at his soldier but not switching the heals over to him, just kind of daring them to attack that guy, keeping his demo man healed up. In the meantime, Mike going nutty, jumping in there, getting a lot of damage, a lot of support from his players. The scout is in, but good rotate by knoxxx to just get right on the other side of that door. 44 health after picking up that bottle. Gonna go right side. There's another bottle over there, which he's just gonna ignore. Just gonna ignore and focus on the regen. There's Bash with that Boston Basher, but not using it, so that's good. Now, TCM, you know, 3 minutes ago they were pushing it last, and now they have a severe uber disadvantage. They do have the spy out, so, you know, maybe something can happen here. Maybe they can make a play, but it's going to be a little bit difficult here. Definitely going to need some magic to kind of get this momentum going the other way again. Disguised as friendly sniper, which is always fun. Now he's going to uber charge. Oh, sorry, Jesus. What did I just say? He's going to cloak. Ooh, nice dodge there. Now is behind, not really in the medic's field of view. The medic does see him now. Bonesaw is out. The pistol does not really get much damage to knoxxx. So good dodge there, but in the meantime, bybben goes down as well. Ubercharge is building, but TCM is down by 2 players, and that's the risk of running utility in Team Fortress 2. You know, you can just get punished really hard for losing a single player. Now, that actually worked out pretty well for him, for TCM in that defense, and getting that that block. So getting, I mean, you know, kind of getting the Uber to be forced and not really much happening with it. So we'll probably see a bit of a cycle here as Epsilon, you know, and that's kind of, I mean, they're playing to the clock, but they don't need to do anything except for just sit and build Uber and maybe try to find an opening. I mean, looks like they are going to try and do something, which is great. I mean, off Uber aggressiveness can be very effective. They've gotten some damage. Let's see if numlocked can come up from behind, though, with Stefan. Now it's just Stefan, though. And 94 health, good little dodges, but this is going to be an uphill battle, and he's not going to lose it. Only his corpse is going uphill. Now, TCM getting out and getting on top of the point. Cookye, good presence. They're going to get the capture. Scout's going to be in danger, but good pop out from the door here from TCM. knoxxx is down. Bash not too healthy either, but Gear gets jukebox, who is fairly far forward, maybe not too far forward, but just aggressive. Mike, though, with the frag on zebbosai up top, that was a nice kill. numlocked, 50 health, but is going to get away. Even gets down to 13 health before he picks up the health back. And Mike just, though, destroys bybben and mirelin as well, before Gear rolls in and finishes that up. So Epsilon once again just combining for very big frags. Weren't really able to shut down Mike. Mike just kind of holding on to that upper area and gets the big kills. And now Epsilon again in a great position to push. 6 minutes left, and you know they don't have to take risks here. You know, you can just kind of figure. I mean, I think Gullywash can be can be capped rather quickly. I think, you know, a minute 30 is possible for a round victory. But, you know, as you just do the math and watch the clock tick away, you know, you're talking about, you know, TCM now has to get 3 perfect rounds, you know, in 4.5 minutes, you know, and it's just getting less and less of an opportunity. Epsilon can grind it. Hopefully they do play positive TF2 and do try to attack. They are trying to attack. Not standing back completely on their back heels. They do get the cycle, though. And now just looking to see kind of what happens, what's exposed afterwards. Now, Jukebox does go down on the side. Stefan fully healed. Bash not going to back up for a buff or anything. She's going to take the bottle. Can definitely hear the heavy, but she's going to get on top of him. And, oh, spits down those scattergun shots. Good damage to bybben, but mirelin responds very quickly and gets the heals down. So, helps keep bybben up. You know, bybben at 150. A lot of players down for Epsilon, so TCM going to push forward. And that's exactly what they need to do right now. Nice jump. Not really a whole lot of damage, but does start getting the capture point down. zebbosai going to jump up and away. Numlocked coming in from down low. Doesn't hit the pipe, which obviously wouldn't have done damage, but would have been nice to slow down the momentum. Now, mirelin, great dodges around that post. He's going to sneak up through the back. Player on the point. The needles are out, but there we go. Mike's going to take him down. So now a 3-0 lead and 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. So yeah, kind of by my estimate of how fast that you could capture a round, there's basically zero chance for TCM to even tie the game at this point. So an inevitability, but also, you know, in TF2 there's not really a tradition of GGing games extensively early, you know, especially since this is a best of 3. You know, the teams are going to take this opportunity to kind of practice some things and maybe try some different approaches, and they definitely do get some results here. It's a nice capture on the middle point. Going to continue to try to bring the aggressiveness here and gets good players on the second point ×4, so that they can really capture it fast and just keep pushing forward. So Uber charge is up. knoxxx does not have the charge. But now charge is even, as you know, no real super early pressure from TCM. Jumping soldier across, and Uber scout demo on the door side. bybben goes down. Yeah, kind of interesting there. Trying to send a soldier across and under, I guess. We'll see how things work out post Uber here, but obviously the heavy going to help slow things down, and well, losing mirelin and jukebox definitely going to help slow things down as well. See if Mike maybe going to rotate to that side, the water side. Numlocked, oh, big pipe. Bash gets the frag there, but numlocked definitely helps out there. Jukebox trying to come back into it. bybben very low health on the side. And jump around, gets his heals. 2 minutes 30 left, and TCM still looking for their first round victory here, as Epsilon has just been so dominant this entire tournament, continuing really to display why they've had an easier time moving forward here. Cookye gets piped down from numlocked. Looks like trying to work through that upper door. Jukebox going down as well. bybben also down. So TCM just throwing players up against the wall, but you know, they're not bouncing back. Those players are just going down and giving Epsilon more of an advantage. We can hear the calls for the charge going out. Uber's definitely down for both teams. Jukebox trying to infiltrate here. I think does get in so far. Gonna be able to sneak around here. Gonna have to wait for the Uber to fade. Good positioning though. Can he get a stab? Oh, does get numlocked with the backstab. The heavy though. Now finally down by Rib. TCM coming with 3 up against 4 though. Needles being fired by knoxxx. Getting pretty good damage. Continuing to push in. Oh man, he's gonna back up over the health kit. Rib down to 41 health, but taken down. And now Needles from mirelin kills knoxxx. While at the same Stefan gets the scattergun kill. So a little bit of silliness, as the players, you know, probably well aware that the game is in the bag. Now we are going to be having map 2 and map 3 coverages on their way as well. That is if we go to a map 3. And as I kind of mentioned before, we will be doing some coverages of some of the other group stage matches or elimination bracket matches, as some of those were definitely pretty exciting. No spoilers, but the Australians definitely did themselves proud. And, well, the Americans kind of had some difficulties, some curveballs thrown their way by ESEA, allowing quick fix this last half of the second season when it became a pretty crazy weapon. So, That definitely kind of might have thrown HRG for a loop, and the Australians did have a bit more time to adjust to jet lag and travel. So, you know, excuses, but there were some very exciting games by those teams, but neither of those teams able to make it to the grand finals. Here we go, mirelin just fighting, once the capture, once something, but we're going to get the GG on map 1. That was Gullywash, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back with map 2. There's some more crowd shouts. Look at that awesome crowd at the game, and big ups to Multiplay for letting us use these photos, as well as showing our documentary previous to the grand finals starting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I am eXtine, and I will see you next time. Peace out. Peace out.